Ambassador Leah Chen stepped into the crystalline hall of the Galactic Council. As if walking into the eye of a cosmic storm, the chamber, carved from living gemstone, pulsed with prismatic light that refracted across 10,000 alien faces. Above, the vaulted dome was not stone, but an ever-shifting hologram of the galaxy itself, each star blinking. G in real time, each world's name inscribed in its native tongue. For centuries, Earth had looked up at these stars with wonder. Now, it would stare defiantly at its peers. Chen's tailored envoy robes bore Earth's crested cobalt sphere encircled by 3 silver arcs. Signifying exploration, unity, and resilience, she drew a steadying breath. Behind her, hidden in antechambers, lay the worst-kept secret of the solar system. The Soul World Alliance had quietly accelerated militia construction, bolstered orbital defenses, and quietly sequestered antimatter reserves. Today, though, no weapons would be brandished in these sacred halls, only words. She approached the central dais where Speaker Zirn presided. 8 long limbs splayed beneath a crown of bioluminescent tendrils. His voice, when he spoke, resonated like ripples across a lagoon. Ambassador Chen, he intoned, Earth's grievances have been noted. But know this, the Council does not tolerate unilateral aggression. Behind him, the glyphic banners of 50-member worlds shimmered. Chen raised her voice, unwavering. Esteemed Speaker, honored delegates, for decades, Earth has been the bulwark against piracy in the outer reaches, the first aid station to plague-ravaged colonies, and the research hub that shared medical breakthroughs freely. And yet, when we ventured into the Ardent Nebula to protect civilian surveyors from mercenary raiders, our actions were deemed aggressive. She paused as ripples of subdued applause echoed from a handful of allied systems. A murmur ran through the Selkri delegation, sleek, Dinosaurian diplomats with crested heads which had profited handsomely from mining rights in the nebula. The Voth, crystalline logic beings, tapped their faceted limbs in contemplation. All eyes turned to the Council's enforcement tribunal, presided over by the oracular Kalash of Kurdesh, whose translucent form flickered with data projections. She raised a fractal hand. The tribunal finds Earth's intervention reckless, Kalash declared. It upset the balance between sanctioned prospectors and licensed defense contractors. Earth bypassed to established protocols. With each syllable, holotext scrolled behind her, listing infractions in glowing turquoise. Chen felt the room tilt. Protocols? She asked, voice measured but edged. When those protocols left colonists defenseless, when Council vessels took weeks to respond, Earth acted to protect life. Is that so criminal? A hush fell. Even the normally boisterous delegates of the Fazari Piratical Confederacy straightened their jeweled crowns, but Zirn's tendrils coiled in finality. The Council upholds law above all. Today, it decrees. Earth exiled, its voting rights suspended, its diplomatic channels sealed. Attempts to circumvent this verdict will be met with force. As the gavel, a suspended orb of condensed graviton, descended, Chen felt the seismic weight of banishment. The hall's kaleidoscopic lights dimmed in unison. An implicit signal, the world under sanction. Back on Earth, the news broke with shuddering finality. In every time zone: Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern, India Standard, China, Japan, Moscow. And here in Bucharest, screens flickered with the same stark image, Earth's blue and green orb, framed by a slashed council insignia. The announcement from UN Space Command was succinct and cold, effective immediately. Humanity is no longer a member of the Galactic Council. All Council liaison offices are closed. Trade and aid agreements are suspended pending further review. In New Paris, once a glittering hub of interstellar tourism, hover shuttles idle at silent launch pads. Streets normally thrumming with bipedal aliens and humans in tandem lay still. Café terraces went from bustling to deserted as patrons summoned sleek council-patterned attire gathered around monitors. In Mumbai's orbital arcology, students on their way to zero-G labs paused. Expressionless, professors exchanged worried glances over steaming cups of masala chai. In Buenos Aires, holo concerts of alien musicians abruptly cut to a looped emergency broadcast. Geneva, seat of the World Assembly, became the epicenter of Earth's response. Delegates from every nation once bickering over terrestrial concerns found a singular purpose: the massive domed chamber of the World Parliament, with its concentric tiers of seats and transparent sky roof, brimmed with urgency. President General Elena Morozova, clad in the new dress uniform of Earth's combined military and civil authority, took the podium. Her gaze swept the assembled legislators, fellow citizens of Earth. She began, her voice carrying the steel of her Siberian resolve. We have been cast out by arbiters we once trusted. But exile does not mean defeat. It means opportunity. In isolation, we can craft our destiny. Polite applause rippled through the room, swelling into a roar. Beside Morozova stood Admiral Marcus Reyes, his battle-scarred face lit by the glow of trifold holoscreens showing dashfields orbiting Mars. Our fleets, he announced, are already in motion. Reinforcements to the Phobos Deimos defense grid depart within hours, but more than that, we will build an armada capable of defending Earth and reaching beyond. We will not beg for membership, we will command respect. A ripple of determined shouts, here, echoed as nations unified. The Global Economic Consortium pledged to redirect funds from Council tribute payments to the Soul World Alliance's Starfleet initiative. Engineers from the Lunar Research Consortium volunteered to accelerate production of gravity drive prototypes. Bioscientists at the Amazon Basin biodomes offered to share their breakthrough immunotherapy with colonial med courts in exchange for mining rights on Titan's lakes. Meanwhile, Ambassador Leah Chen returned from her humiliating departure, back through the airlock of the Council's cruiser and honor guard of ratcheting doors, biometric scans, and thrumming engines. As she disembarked onto the tarmac of Luna Base 1, she was greeted by a small cadre of Earth Marines and government aides. Their faces, set in grim relief, reflected relief that she had escaped and anger at the Council's slight. Ambassador Morozova greeted her with a firm embrace. They exiled us, but they can never exile our will. Chen's eyes glistened, half from pride, half from the sting of betrayal. That night, under Earth's twin moons, the leaders of the Soul World Alliance convened in the subterranean Council of Unity, a circular chamber of basalt and steel deep within the lunar regolith. Holo-constellations mapped across the vaulted ceiling, marking every known star system. At the center, a unified roundtable bore the seals of Earth, Mars, the Asteroid Belt Coalition, and the burgeoning Venusian clans. Elena Morozova spoke again, outlining the first steps of the Operation Iron Phoenix, the combing of Jupiter's resource belts, Fortrium Titanator, the construction of the first Dreadnought class, project named Imperator, the drafting of the Imperial Charter, to bind alien colonies through mutual benefit rather than council decree. Each delegate nodded, voices hushed, realizing that the exile from the council was not a verdict of finality, but a catalyst for a new order. And so, as the basalt walls hummed with the energy of orbital data streams, Earth's leaders committed themselves to a path never taken, a path not of supplication before ancient alien powers, but of forging an empire from the raw will of humanity, strong enough to carve its name across the stars, and wise enough to carry its values into the void. The pale light of Luna Base 1 washed over the vast hangar like liquid silver. Steel frameworks arched overhead, linked by webs of power conduits humming with collected solar energy. In the center, the keel of the colony ship Astraeus lay half-assembled, its cavernous hull awaiting its outer plating. Around it, engineers and technicians, human and synthetic alike, flowed in synchronized choreography, welding, bolting, and calibrating in near-silent precision. Chief Engineer Amina Das strode along a catwalk 30 meters above the deck, her datapad projecting schematics in midair. Her dark eyes traced the quantum entanglement coils that would power the Astraeus' slip drive. She tapped her comlink. Status on sector for plating, 5 minutes to weld completion, came the reply from Foreman Ortiz. Thermal tolerances are holding at 300 degrees Kelvin. Das nodded. Good. Once you're clear, route the antimatter conduits and begin cryogenic chamber integration. We launch in T-minus 48 hours. Below, welding torches spat molten steel into the gloom. Overhead, gravity thrusters held the framework aloft with barely perceptible shudders. All around the base, construction of Earth's new Empire pulsed in 5 major shipyards: Mare Imbrium, Shackleton Crater, Tycho Ridge, Bulluldas Dome, and the clandestine facility beneath the lava plains, gathering the galaxy's bounty on the fringes of Jupiter's rings. Mining freighters carved through trails of silicate ice and metallic ore. Captain Suresh Natarajan of the Prospector's Pride stood on the observation deck, eyes fixed on the gravimetric scanner. Yttrium titanate deposits ahead, he announced, shifting to collection formation. His crew, 30 miners in exoskeletal suits, deployed magnetic scoops into the glittering ring. Drillers bored into ice-encrusted boulders, extracting bars of a rich in rare earth elements essential for starship shielding. Over days, the freighter's holds filled with cargo bound for Earth's smelters on Ganymede and Callisto. Meanwhile, in the inner system, fusion reactors on Venusian cloud platforms converted atmospheric sulfur and carbon into propellant methanol. Factory habitats in Mars orbit refined water ice into rocket-grade hydrogen. And on Mercury, solar furnaces tempered pure refractory metals under the relentless glare of the sun. From these disparate operations flowed a steady stream of raw materials: titanium, tungsten, diamondoid composites, hyperalloy ingots, and antimatter capsules into Earth's. The Global Economic Consortium rerouted its shipping lanes, protected by convoys of gunships, to ensure no vessel fell prey to piracy or council-sponsored interdiction. Birth of the Soul World Alliance, an imperial council in the subterranean. Council of Unity, carved deep beneath the lunar highlands, delegates from Earth, Mars, the Asteroid Belt Coalition, and the Venusian clans gathered beneath a dome of reinforced crystalline glass. Holographic star charts rotated above them, pinpointing dozens of candidate systems for colonization. At the head of the table, President General Elena Morozova tapped her ceremonial saber. The assembled representatives rose in unison and recited the Imperial Charter. Expansion with integrity. New colonies shall enjoy self-governance under Earth's protective aegis. Technological sharing, pioneering advancements, AI, terraforming. Medical shall be shared freely within the Empire. Defense and diplomacy. The Iron Armada will safeguard borders. Imperial envoys will seek alliances beyond. Mars Governor Rael Okoye stood and added, "Let it be known that, under this charter, no system shall endure the yoke of enslavement or arbitrary rule. We build together, not conquer." Applause rippled through the chamber. On a platform behind them, Leah Chen and Admiral Marcus Reyes watched with solemn pride, knowing that this new political architecture would outlast any single warship. The Armada takes shape across Luna Base 1's shipyard. Colossal sections of the first dreadnought, Imperator, waited to be mated. Its bow bore the silhouette of a phoenix, wings unfurled in flight, emblazoned across its polarized steel plates. At 200 meters long and bristling with graviton projectors, quantum pulse cannons, and point defense lasers, it was the single largest warship Earth had ever attempted. Vice Admiral Zhao Wei oversaw the commissioning crew, clad in a cobalt blue uniform. She inspected the weapon arrays. "Calibrate the graviton emitters to link with the ship's AI matrix," she instructed. "We need millisecond lock-on times." AI specialist Dr. Imara Sun adjusted neural link nodes in a sealed environment nearby. The synthetic neural cores are at 97% operational. "I'm uploading the final combat subroutines now." "Good," Zhao Wei replied. "I want the firing solutions tested within the hour." We depart from Mars for battle drills in 72. Elsewhere, the Sol fleet's frigates, corvettes, and destroyers rolled out of hangars like steel beetles emerging from cocoons. The transport squadrons, 15 vessels, capable of carrying 2 million colonists in stasis pods, stood by, ready to seed new worlds. In the heart of the Luna Command Tower, Admiral Reyes convened a strategy session. A holographic map of the Ardent Nebula rotated above the table, dotted with potential Council choke points. "Our intelligence," he began, "suggests the Council intends to blockade these passages to throttle our supply lines. We must secure forward way stations before they can react." Lunar Naval Architect Priya Banerjee interjected. "Deploy the missile sentry satellites in these orbits. They'll feed real-time data to our drones." She tapped a geospatial grid. and dozens of tiny yellow spheres appeared around the nebula's fringes. Chen added, "I'll open back channel talks with the Vale Mines and Siller Consortium. We need refueling rights and safe harbors before the first council vessels arrive." A studious silence fell. In that moment, war and diplomacy found uneasy balance just as the Soul World Alliance had envisioned. Their success would hinge on unity of purpose. Trials by fire 3 days later, under Mars's twin moons Phobos and Deimos, Division Sovereign assembled for its inaugural war games. The red planet's surface reflected the pale light of Luna. As the fleet formed line astern of Imperator, below, thousands of Marines and technicians watched from an observation plateau. Vice Admiral Zhao Wei hailed the fleet. "This exercise will test every system, from quantum shielding to drone swarm tactics. Remember, precision and cohesion. Firepower alone will not win a real engagement." The exercise commenced. Frigates launched squadrons of phalanx drones, weaving through simulated asteroid fields. Destroyers laid gravity mine barrages around mock transport convoys. At the climax, Imperator's graviton projector extinguished the shields of a target. Ship in 30 milliseconds flat, sending shockwaves through Deimos's regolith. When the final after-action reports came in, engineers found only minor calibration errors. Pilots recorded record lock-on times, and the Marines boarding. Drills executed in magnetized drop pods showed flawless coordination. Morozova beamed at Reyes. "They're ready," she said. "Now we know our fleet can stand toe-to-toe with any council battle group." Reyes nodded. "Next step, real-world deployment. We secure the Ambassadors' Pact by supplying humanitarian aid to the free trade worlds. They need to see Earth as more than soldiers, seeds of the Empire amid the clamor of war preparations." The Astreus reached completion. Its fusion drives roared to life in the vacuum of space as it detached from the hangar. On its bridge, Amina Das watched the stars unfurl through the viewport. "This ship," she whispered, "carries not only colonists but our ideals." Behind her, Leah Chen transmitted an invitation to 20 independent systems, an open offer of trade, cultural exchange, and mutual defense. Within hours, hopeful replies tumbled in messages encoded with gratitude, intrigue, and cautious friendship. Back on Earth, voices that once mourned exile now spoke with optimism. Newspapers ran front-page editorials, from Forge to Empire. Luna's Armada, beacon of humanity, charter of hope for the stars. In the alleys of Neo, Shanghai, and the plazas of New Delhi, children played beneath floating holo banners showing a rising phoenix, the new emblem of Earth's empire. As the final act of Chapter 2 drew to a close, the Iron Armada glimmered like a spearhead pointed at the dark heart of the galaxy, and Earth's people, united as never before, prepared to hurl it forward. Exiled they might be, but they were no longer passive players in a cosmic drama. They had become its architects, and their empire was just beginning. The edge of the ardent nebula glowed like a bruise against the velvet void, an ever-shifting tapestry of ionized gases in violet and amber hues. From the bridge of the flagship Imperator, Vice Admiral Zhao Wei watched the alien light play. Across the viewport, sensors hummed softly beneath her feet as the rest of Division Sovereign, and out behind them, in a diamond formation, to dreadnoughts for destroyers, and a squadron of frigates bristling with point defense lasers and drone launch bays. Below decks, ordnance crews checked the missile tubes. Engineers in biohazard suits monitored the quantum reactor's flux. All told, more than 10,000 soul soldiers, pilots, technicians, and scientists prepared themselves for the inevitable, the first true test of Earth's Iron Armada. Against the Galactic Council, a quiet before the storm admiral, Lieutenant Giro Maren called from the tactical console, his fingers dancing over holo controls. "We're detecting an unmapped vessel entering the sector at sublight velocity. No transponder, no signature matches our database." Zhao's eyes narrowed. Visual. Marin summoned the feed. A sleek, obsidian frigate emerged from the plasma clouds, its hull rippling with adaptive camouflage. Along its flank, the sixth star, insignia of the United Galactic Pact, gleamed faintly under the nebula's light. "Council." Without question, Zhao said, "Open a channel. Static crackled, then a cool, synthesized voice filtered through. "You have no jurisdiction here. Stand aside or face annihilation." Zhao squared her shoulders. "This is Imperial Flagship Imperator. We are conducting survey and defense exercises in unclaimed space. You will withdraw immediately." A metallic chuckle. "Your exile was a mercy. You are no longer deserving of courtesy. We will clear the sector of your presence." Battle stations across the fleet. Alarms chimed. Officers barked orders. Doors sealed. Emergency lighting bathed corridors in red. On the Resolute, Admiral Marcus Reyes watched the readouts with grim satisfaction. "All wings to combat stations. I want full readiness. Shields to 40% overload. Launch the Phalanx drones on my mark." Down in the drone bay, specialists guided dozens of sleek interceptors into their launch tubes, each drones. I-Core was tuned to Zhao Wei's combat network to respond to threats in under 5 milliseconds. In the communications hub, Leah Chen coordinated diplomatic backup. "Ambassador Chen to Vice Admiral. I'm opening second-tier channels to the Siller Consortium and Vale Mines. If we can bring them on board, Council forces might hesitate." Chen's voice crackled back. "Understood. I'll push for a temporary safe haven, but don't count on it in the heat of battle." First Salvoon Zhao Wei's command. Triangular volleys of graviton torpedoes arched toward the enemy frigate, their dark trails bending space itself. The Council ship unleashed a barrage of plasma bursts in reply, lighting up the nebula like fireworks. Bright streaks collided in the void warheads detonating against energy shields. Shockwaves rippling through vacuum. The Imperator quivered under the impact, but its reinforced gravitic hull held. Zhao glanced at her tactical officer, who gravely reported, "Enemy shields at 60%. Returning fire in 3, 2, 1. A deafening roar echoed through the flagship as the graviton projector unleashed a coherent wave, ripping through the Council frigate's forward shields. Sparks danced across its surfaces. Explosions blossomed along its hull as structural failsafes collapsed, black smoke venting into space. Yet the Council was not so easily undone. Two destroyers emerged from the nebulous haze, targeting the Resolute and a nearby cruiser. Missile streaks converged on the vulnerable flank of the convoy. "Sacrifice and strategy divert power to aft shields," Admiral Reyes shouted, fists clenched, and launched the Sentinel wing to intercept. Pilots scrambled into their cockpits, engines flaring bright turquoise. The AI-guided Sentinels swooped between the missiles, detonating them at safe distance. Below, damage control teams on the Resolute patched hull breaches in minutes, their maglev repair bots weaving new plating into place. On the Imperator, Vice Admiral Zhao gave the order that would define the battle: execute the Phoenix maneuver. At once, every vessel in Division Sovereign shifted formation, folding in on the crippled frigate to envelop the two incoming destroyers. Zhao's voice carried over the comms. "They won't expect a pincer at this range. Engage at point blank and disable. Do not destroy unless they force our hand." The destroyers, caught between converging graviton mines and drone swarms, suffered catastrophic system failures. Weapons went offline, power flickered. One surrendered, drifting powerless. The other, damaged but defiant, veered deeper into the nebula's murk. Turning the Tidius, the Council frigate's final systems shut down, cloaking its insignia in fractured light. The rest of the posse, a light cruiser and two corvettes, hovered at the nebula's edge. They peered out from the plasma haze, hesitation in their approach. Leah Chen seized the moment. "Council forces," her voice rang through comms channels. "You have witnessed Earth's resolve and capacity for precision. We offer you an alternative. Stand down and negotiate, or risk further losses. Choose wisely." Moments passed like years. Then, the Council light cruiser's Vox cruciform blinked alive. "Council command will review your terms. Retreat to coordinates Delta 9 for talks." Zhao Wei allowed herself a small smile. "Coordinates accepted. All units, withdraw to rendezvous point. Maintain defensive posture. Aftermath and reflection division." Sovereign regrouped at the agreed point, a neutral translation buoy floating at the nebula's fringe. Soft white lights from the buoy illuminated the battered hulls, patchwork repairs, and the distant glow of warship exhausts. Med pods on support frigates tended to minor injuries. Engineers recalibrated sensors. On the Imperator's bridge, Zhao Wei folded her arms. Status, Lieutenant Maran replied. Minimal casualties, 12 fatalities, 45 wounded. Enemy, 1 frigate disabled, 2 destroyers incapacitated, and council assets dispersed. Admiral Reyes stepped beside Zhao. We proved our mettle, but at what cost? Tomorrow we must tend to our people and prepare for what they'll send next. Lia Chen entered. Fatigue etched on her features. Initial overtures from the Vale Mines and Siller Consortium are positive. They respect decisive action. We have a window to solidify alliances. Zhao nodded. Then we'll use it. Prepare proposals for resource sharing and mutual defense. The Council's aura of invincibility is broken. As darkness settled over the nebula's swirling storms, the Iron Armada's ships drifted in contemplative silence. The first clash had ended in a tactical victory, but more importantly, it had forged in fire the unity and confidence that would carry Earth's fledgling empire forward. The road ahead remained fraught with peril, but for the first time, humanity's leaders and soldiers alike believed they could shape their fate among the stars. The twin suns of Nova Gen rose over the undulating plains in pale gold and roseate hues, bathing the newly founded colony in a warmth that felt like promise. Beneath them, waves of iridescent grass swayed in the breeze, and crystalline lakes mirrored the sky at the edge of the landing field. The colony's inaugural banner, Earth's Phoenix Crescent, fluttered beside the flags of Mars, Venus, and the Asteroid Belt Coalition. Landing the seeds of civilization, Trantor shuttles descended in synchronized arcs, disgorging the first wave of colonists, engineers, farmers, medics, educators, and administrators. They carried stasis-grown saplings of Earth's staple crops, spools of protein-textured fabric for shelters, and subroutines for automated terraforming rigs. Each shuttle bore the proud names of ancestral explorers: Magellan's Hope, Earhart's Dream, Poog's Venture, and Callum's Ascent. Governor-General Rael Okoye stood on the observation days with Lia Chen and Admiral Reyes. As the shuttles touched down, he spoke into the calm feed broadcast across the Empire. Today, we sow the seeds of a new society, one founded on the principles of cooperation, liberty, and shared destiny. Let this world be the first of many, where all peoples of our empire may flourish. His words carried sublimely over the speakers, mingling with the cheers of the settlers. Building beyond war, while heavy lift cranes erected prefabricated habitat modules, bioengineers in clean suits released specialized microbes into the soil organisms, programmed to break down nova dust into nutrients. Hydroponic greenhouses unfurled their domed frames, and soon the air hummed with the promise of the first harvest. Solar rays climbed the nearby foothills, their angled panels gleaming like fields of mirrors. On the central plaza, soon to be named Unity Square, Amina Das oversaw the construction of the Empire's first civilian starport. As she deftly calibrated the final docking clamps, she mused aloud to her assistant. In war we build machines of destruction. Here we build machines of hope. Nearby, children chased hover drone pets among clusters of colonist-crafted sculptures, abstract forms inspired by Earth's rivers and mountains. Educators gathered them into discussion circles, teaching the new generation about the rich tapestry of cultures that now wove the Empire together. Diplomacy in the void aboard the light cruiser Rora's Grace, Lia Chen prepared for her most important mission yet, the Council of Free Worlds Summit. In a neutral station orbiting the Siller homeworld, envoys from the Vale Mines, the Siller Consortium, the Rilstar Nomads, and other independent systems had gathered to witness Earth's opening offer of alliance. Her briefing officer, diplomat Soren Cowell, reviewed the terms: open trade corridors, mutual defense pacts, technology exchanges in terraforming and medicine, and cultural arts scholarships for exchange students. Our goal, Cowell reminded her, is not to replace the Council's influence, but to offer an alternative, a partnership of equals. When the summit began, the assembled delegates hummed with curiosity. The massive holo-table display shifted through images of Earth's colonies, humanitarian aid missions, astrophysical research breakthroughs, and the solemn face of the Imperator in battle. Chen spoke passionately. We stand not as conquerors, but as partners. Join us in building a federation of worlds that prizes self-determination, prosperity, and peace. The Rilstar Elder rose its 9 tendrils quivering. Your actions speak louder than words. On Nova Gen, you built in days what took us centuries. We see your sincerity, Earth. The consortium will sign. Murmurs of assent rose from every corner of the hall. Within hours, the council station's reverberant dome bore 23 new flag symbols of a burgeoning imperial network, triumph and tension back on Earth. News of the summit ignited celebrations in every metropolis, from the floating tiers of New Shanghai to the canyon city of Olympia on Mars. Holo sky shows burst with fireworks in imperial reds and golds. Parades marched beneath starlit banners. Orchestras performed symphonies that blended human and alien instruments. The imperial anthem, composed jointly by Earth's Philharmonic and the Siller's Crystal Harp Ensemble, soared through plazas. Yet beneath the jubilation, ripples of unease spread among old council loyalists. On the back channels of interstellar trade hubs, rumors swirled of covert sabotage. Supply ships rerouted. Sensor rays mysteriously go offline, and the occasional miner's life lost in unexplained accidents. Admiral Reyes, noting the pattern, convened a security council aboard the Resolute. These are warning shots, not war, he said grimly, but we will not be cowed. Increase patrols along critical routes and deploy our covert agents to root out sabotage cells. Leah Chen, back from the summit, added, I'll pressure our new allies to cooperate in security operations. Unity is our best defense against those who fear our rise. A new dawn months passed, and the Empire advanced on multiple fronts. On Ganymede, a vast hydroponics complex fed 10 colony worlds. On Ceres, advanced research institutes unlocked breakthroughs in dark matter propulsion. The Imperial Cadet Corps commissioned its first class of mixed-species officers. The Imperial Library housed in a hollowed asteroid cataloged the wisdom and art of 50 worlds. Emperor Elena Morozova, crowned in a ceremony on the refurbished Olympia Arena under the rings of Saturn, addressed the Empire. From exile we have grown, from trial we have forged our unity, and now from resolve we will build our future. Let no voice say we followed only the path of war. Our empire shines brightest where peace, progress, and partnership prevail. As she spoke, the live holo feed panned across Nova Gen's green fields, the starport in bustling operation, the summit station's flags, and the Armada's gleaming warships on patrol. The final shot lingered on the Empire's emblem, the phoenix rising from Earth's crescent, a testament that from the crucible of exile, humanity had risen not merely as spectators in the galactic theater, but as architects of an empire of its own. And so, with engines primed and banners aloft, Earth's empire stepped into a new era, its destiny no longer written by ancient powers, but forged by its own indomitable spirit.